y'all, today I am back with a plant haul from Covington's Nursery and Callaway's Nursery. I'm excited to show you guys what I purchased. Everything is kind of directed towards fall tones and or perennials that I'm going to begin working into my garden now that the temps are starting to work their way a little bit down. And make sure you drop me a comment below. Are you buying fall color? I am. The break in our heat is just that it's only 92, right? And the humidity still makes it feel like it's 97, 98. But still, I mean, it's been so unbearable as of late. We've finally gotten rain. It just feels so much better that it's not 105 outside that I've just been thrilled to be going and purchasing some fall color and starting to tuck some of it into my garden. Okay, if you didn't check out my latest nursery tours, make sure you do that. I did recently tour Bruce Miller Nursery. I toured Covington's, I toured Callaway, several different ones. But let me talk to you guys about what I'm doing. So first, let's talk about some perennials that I've got in here. This particular perennial I purchased from Covington's Nursery, and it is an ornamental grass. It is called Hamlin Fountain Grass. And so it's got these really pretty like seed pods here, absolutely beautiful. This is about full grown. It might get just a touch bigger, but I really like the look. I've been wanting to incorporate more grasses into my landscape. It's very appropriate for drought tolerance and for my particular area, which is really, really good. And then, you know, it's also really nice just because in the heat of the year, when things are looking rough, this looks good. So that's really exciting and something that I'm really working with. And then I feel excited because I think I can harvest these little seed pods, these little feather plumes for arrangements, which I think will be really fun. I believe I paid $29.99 for this one, but I am not seeing the label on it right now. Okay, this next one that I got is also from Covington's. It is also an ornamental grass called, I believe it's Blue Garma. Is that right? Yeah, Blue Guama. And I loved it for these almost little flag-like seed pods on the end of them. It's so fun and unique. And when this guy catches in the wind, it is stunning. Absolutely stunning. So I'm really excited to add this. It gets to about 2 to 3 feet by 2 to 3 feet. So this one will get significantly larger, whereas that other one I showed you was almost full grown. So this one will probably get to about this size, which will be really, really nice. So this will be, you know, nice to tuck into some gardens. I really want the grasses to peek out from other perennials, right? So I don't want them really up front in my landscape. I want them tucked back a little bit, maybe with lower perennials in front, and then these tucked out where you can kind of just see the plumes kind of coming out. I think would be really pretty. I'm going to be working a lot on that side garden area. I've grown a lot of cut flowers over there over the last couple of years, and it's just not the best place for growing cut flowers over there. So I want to just go ahead and focus on some beautiful perennials that add lots of texture and interest, and I want full season interest. Like I want to be able to walk over there, you know, in winter and still have some dried grasses looking pretty. I want to be able to walk over there in spring and see some flowers blooming. Summer, I want to see stuff like grass like this, and then fall, I want to see a resurgence of blooms. So it is something I'm really going to be working hard on this next season. Okay, this next perennial that I picked up, I picked this one up from Callaway's. Covington's and Callaway's, the C's are going to kill me. So this is a variety of salvia. It is called Cardona Sage, and it has tall, kind of purplish plume looking blooms. The size of it is 15 to 18 inches wide by 24 to 30 inches tall. It's hardy in zones 3 to 8. So I actually had this, I trimmed off the edges of it. I'll put up a video of what it looked like without the trimming. It had all of its original flush leaves around the sides, and then it was starting new growth in the center. And so I just, you know, removed that, and I've got the new growth in the center, and so now it's ready to plant. Okay, I did pick up another sedum from Callaway's. I can't seem to resist sedum. I just love how drought resistant they are. I love how beautiful they are. I love that I can cut and use them in arrangements, which I think is so fun. This one in particular is called Sedum Autumn Fire, and I'll put up a photo so you can see what the actual blooms are going to end up looking like. But this will get much larger in scale, probably at least 2 foot by 2 foot. So it's beautiful, interesting texture, and when you see, put things like some of this stuff mixing together, isn't that unique texture? I mean, that's what I'm really going for in my garden. I don't want my garden to be all the same shade of green. I don't want my garden to be all the same type of size of leaves or shape of leaves. I want it to have interest. I want unique plants to stick out, other ones to be background plants. Do I think I can achieve that the first time around planting everything? No, I think it's going to be years of moving things around, changing things out. What do I think about this? What do I like about that? I mean, that's how this kind of situation is going to go. But very excited about the Autumn Fire Sedum. Okay, let's talk about some annuals that I purchased. One of the first annuals I purchased is this guy right here. This guy is from Covington's, and I am not typically a hanging basket kind of girl. Like, I don't go buy a hanging basket from any kind of nursery or anything like that. So this one I was completely drawn to because if you have followed me for a while, I decorate my porch for Halloween, not necessarily fall. And I really thought this plant kind of had like a dark, moody Halloween look. It is some type of begonia, doesn't have a label on it. I'll have to do a little research, see what I can find. But I ended up getting this massive plant. $24.99. I thought that was a fabulous price. I should be able to trim this guy back and overwinter it too, so I can utilize it next spring. But I just really love the look of it for Halloween. I thought it had that kind of vibe, that dark, moody vibe. So I ended up picking up this, even though this is not something I would typically pick up. Okay, so next I'm beginning to think about fall autumn containers, and so I'm starting to pull together a collection of plants. I typically will go to multiple places, pick up plants from different places, bring them all together as a collection, and then work from there to devise maybe 3 to 4 autumn planters on my front porch. This is a Proven Winners plant, and it is called Sweet Caroline Bewitched After Midnight. Okay, first of all, how autumn and fall does that sound? Bewitched After Midnight. Wonderful. So this is like a sweet potato vine, and it says it's 10 to 16 inches. That means height. Length, this guy can grow like 3-5 feet long. It's full to part sun, but I really like it. You can kind of see I kind of have a gathering of plants right here, kind of working with that, and you can see kind of some of the beautiful color and how this all kind of starts to work together. So I ended up picking 2 of these up from Covington's. Then in addition, I picked up some more Proven Winners. They happen to have a bunch of Proven Winners in. They posted on their Facebook page. They've just gotten them in. I typically rush over when they post something on Facebook that I really like because they sell out of it very quickly. So I went ahead and pre-purchased these petunias over here, and these petunias are called Supertunia Honey, and they are 6 to 12 inches tall, and they are... It doesn't say how far they grow side to side, but when I looked up online, I think it was about 24 inches, so about 2 feet wide. It's this beautiful kind of honey tone with a touch of peach, a touch of pink in it. Absolutely beautiful. So I ended up picking up 6 of these. I'm going to be pulling out my bubblegum Supertunias and replacing them with these guys. I'm going to do that this weekend. It's the last weekend, August, and so that's going to give them plenty of time to get absolutely beautiful before we hit our first frost, which tends to be about November 22nd each year. So I went ahead and called Covington's, told them what I wanted. They pulled them aside, and I paid for them on the phone. So do remember that if you are scrolling through social media and you see something you love at a nursery and you want it and you can't get there right away, go ahead and call them. They're going to pull it aside for you as long as you pay for it. They're not going to hold it just because. And they shouldn't hold it just because when they can sell it. They're a business, right? But if you're willing to pay for it over the phone, you're good to go. Now, I also picked up some Super Bells, so that for those of you who don't know, that's Calabrosia, and this is a Proven Winners. Now, Laura on Garden Answer grows super bells, and she tries to tuck them into additional containers and all that kind of stuff. She recently says she had a lot of luck with them on like just in the landscape as opposed to container. They don't like as much water as something like a petunia, right? They look like petunias, but they don't like as much water as a petunia. So the first one I picked up is called Super Bells Dreamsicle. So it's a beautiful kind of like orangey, terracotta, kind of peachy tones. Really, really pretty. You can kind of see it mixed in. I just absolutely thought it was great. I have a hard time finding orange at this time of the year going into the fall. I tend to find lots of purples or reds, greens, that kind of stuff. But when I see orange, I kind of snap it up pretty quick because I can't find as much of those when I'm working on containers. Now I also got another variety of Super Bells, and the Super Bells and this particular variety of petunias or Super Petunia is brand new to me, so I haven't used them before. This other Super Bell I got is called Double Amber, and it is just kind of this lovely kind of peachy yellow kind of shade, which is absolutely gorgeous. Love it, love it. And it's deeper towards the center of the flower. Ivy, don't do flute right now, I'm recording. Give me like 15 minutes. My daughter just started playing flute right through this window right over here, and I was like, you're gonna have to practice, give me 15 minutes and I'll be good to go. But really love this kind of double look of the Super Bell. Absolutely beautiful. So it'll be interesting to kind of play with this, especially knowing what Laura has talked about on Garden Answer, meaning she's had some difficulty regarding water. They don't like as much water as other plants. So it'll be interesting when I get them set up in their containers and making sure that they don't get as much water, just to make sure that they last a little bit longer. They do have a trailing habit, so these will be really beautiful trailing over the side of a container. Okay, also from Covington's, I did go ahead and pick up a purple fountain grass. This is an annual in my area. Some areas it is perennial. I think zones 9 and up. It's a perennial, but in my area it's an annual. I love the look of it. I love these tall plumes. I think are really pretty. This one's dried out a little bit, but I don't mind. I actually dig the look. That's one of the best things about purple fountain grass is even with your first frost coming through, it will dry out and it'll just be this beautiful texture. It will stay like this. Absolutely gorgeous. So I'm excited. I'm going to be working this into a container. I ended up getting this one for $12.99. And I should bounce back and tell you that each of these proven winners was $7.99. So it was not inexpensive. However, knowing their growth habit and knowing that I still have, let's see, September, October, and half of November. So I still have 10 weeks for these to grow. That's plenty of time for them to get through their full size, which will be really great, which means I'm going to get the most bang for my buck out of them prior to my first frost. Okay, next I got a couple of Kong coleus. Now these are really large leaf coleus. You can kind of see how big my hand is here. I got these from Callaway's. I was just, in love with the shape, the color, the scale. I love, when I talk about Halloween, right, decorating for Halloween, I love that these kind of have like some kind of like swamp monster kind of feel to them, which I think is so much fun. But the Kong, K-O-N-G, coleus is really large scale leaf coleus. So I bought 2 of these. Now these were not cheap. These were $12.99 each. However, I didn't get a bunch of them. I just got 2 so that they could really add just this bold pop of color to a container. So I think these will be the wow factor, the thriller in some of these containers, and these will get larger. Now I love this Kong coleus so much that I started researching to see where I can find some seeds for Kong coleus. So that is one of my goals. I would like to grow Kong coleus next year, just because this is stunning, and this particular type of coleus tends to be a little bit more expensive. Now, Covington's did actually have a sale, and they don't run a ton of sales, but they had these 2 coleus for half off. They're regularly $12.99, and I ended up getting them for $6.50 each. And they are proven winners. It's a Color Blaze Royal Pineapple Brandy. Absolutely gorgeous, beautiful. I thought that these would be really pretty towards the back of a container. So if you can kind of see me, I'm going to get super messy for a second. All right, so you got the purple fountain grass, and then you bring in something like this coleus, and then you kind of tie in, I like the darker coleus, and then you put a pop of those Super Petunias or those Super Bells in front, right? How pretty is that? So you see kind of how I'm building texture and height. So I've got the tall, the medium, the shorter, and then I'll have a trailer coming out. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about when I'm looking at plants and making decisions on what I'm going to get. I do not pre-plan each individual container. I've found that over the years when I do that, I'm always kind of disappointed because it's hard to gauge the scale somewhere else. Okay, I'm looking at the camera right now, and there's a giant bumblebee like just hanging out on my camera. Y'all won't be able to see it. Yeah, there he goes. Here he is right there. You see him? Ah. Okay, I'm literally looking at the camera and he's just hanging there. Oh yeah, he's over here hanging out. But I don't pre-plan my containers, right? I tend to just buy a lot of variety and then come home and I play and I move and I do this. And then if I end up with one like odd, weird container, I might run back to the nursery and pick up something. It's rare that I find everything I want in one nursery, but that's okay because I love shopping at plant nurseries, so it's no big deal. I don't mind if I have to go somewhere else. So with those coleus, you know, this pineapple brandy, it has the margins are, you know, the edges of the leaves have a little bit of like a darker kind of maroon color on the end of them, which is really, really pretty. I can understand why they were getting rid of these. They're super leggy, right? I could give them a really nice trim back. I'm not going to at this point because I actually want the height and I'm going to tuck a plant in front of them so you're not going to see the legginess. So I think that'll work really, really well. You can definitely, you know, even planning for fall containers, you can definitely be looking at the clearance section because you might find some summer annuals that'll work really good into the fall but have that bright color that you want for some autumn tones. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed today's plant haul. Sorry that I combined multiple nurseries. It wasn't enough for one video of either one, and so I just wanted to put it all together to show you guys what I was up to. And of course, you'll be seeing these in the upcoming weeks as they go into containers or as they go into my perennial garden. All right, as always, she's a mad gardener or decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.